Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Joe and Cody. My name is Joe Skipper, the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty out of Oregon. And I'm with my friend Cody Wilhelm, who is also a lender with residential mortgage. How's it going, my man?
Doing good, doing good. How about you?
Good, good. This will show if people pay attention to the whole thing or not. But Christina and I had a baby, and we'll
Oh,
see if people pay attention further. But basically, it was a dog baby. Yeah,
okay.
we talked a little bit about it. We had a little Margot, an Irish setter. So we've been dealing with that. That's why we've been MIA with our our live streams lately, because having an infant dog is significantly harder than we remembered.
Dude, that puppy life is tough. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
stopping that.
So yeah, it's been a lot. Like I feel like I just need to be nocturnal, and sleep during the day and just be at night with her, because it's just I'm up like constantly with her. But she's a good dog, a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
good.
But yeah, the puppy stage is here. So you and I
Dude.
have been trying multiple times to find times through the week, and I'm like, I just can't, I
Yeah,
can't do it. So finally, we have a routine set up ish
we
for
did it.
her. So we're here. You and I are here. So
Yes,
I wanted to
yes.
jump right in, man. I know a lot's going to change. Well, maybe not. It's going to change, but we've got an election in what
Yeah. A
next week.
week.
So it's
Yeah.
super interesting, super exciting in multiple ways. But it'll just be interesting to see what happens. And I kind of want to see. Let's just start with like, the market's not what people have been thinking has been happening, as always, this entire
No.
year.
Yeah.
Every prediction and even the Fed's meeting didn't really change things. And so,
hmm
what's your thoughts on that? What's been going on?
Well, it's been a rough go since the Fed dropped rates. Leading up to that, the market was anticipating that the Fed was going to drop rates, and from everything, because I don't know, I get my information from what I read, but from everything that I see, it's that there was too much anticipation that the Fed was going to, drop 50 or 0.5%, maybe do it again in November, and then maybe like a quarter in December. And when the Fed made their announcement, there was some verbiage in there and maybe some uncertainty. So the market, when I say the market, I mean like the mortgage-backed securities, the bond market, that determines what the rates are. It started to kind of pull back. Like they had over anticipated that it was going to be more aggressive. So we had this great run leading up to that, and everything had stabilized and kept going down. And then ever since the Fed dropped rates, they have now increased over 0.5%. So for the mortgage side of rates, we're back to where we were like in July. So all that ground that we gained is now gone, and it only continues to seem to get worse. So, I mean, the expectation is still that the Fed are going to lower rates in November, but it's just a question of if they're going to do 0.25% or 0.5%. And now there's kind of this, maybe that's all we're going to get this year outlook. So I think as much as I and probably everybody else was excited that we were starting to see this trending down, it's kind of stalled out now. So we've lost that ground, and now we're sitting back right where we're at. From what I have,
hoping to gain it back. Yeah.
Hoping to gain it back. Yeah. And we will. It's just, there was a lot of excitement. Like we finally made it. Now we're going to be like gradually working our way back down to where it's more affordable. So now it's just put a big pause on that. And from everything that I have seen, as far as election outcome goes, it looks like we could expect to still continue to see rates get worse, regardless of who wins.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I honestly can't really remember. I should probably go look it up and see, what the reaction was initially 4 years ago. And then the previous 4 years, to see kind of what that standard is. But I feel like there's always an overreaction, like the first week or so after a big announcement like that. So I would expect to see chaos in the mortgage rate side, at least for the first couple of weeks after the election, and then maybe things will kind of start to settle in. But it's been rough. But
yeah, it has. It's crazy, and it's like, again, the people that were like, I'm waiting till the rates drop. I'm waiting till the Feds meet. It's like, now they're paying the price for that, thinking that it was going to somehow make this miracle cure and drop the rates. And it's just something we can't predict and can't, and that's why it's like, don't hedge your bets. Just if you can afford it at a rate that you're comfortable with, just go for it. But yeah, it's been interesting. And I think like that, what you just said is kind of reflected on the housing market too. I think, I was just looking at the stats for Wilsonville this morning, and though our median sales price or sold price last month was higher than the previous months, the days on market are continuing to go up. Not to a crazy level. I think it was like 38, maybe 38 or 40 days. So not to a crazy level, but it's definitely homes are sitting on the market longer now. I think that, there's a couple articles I saw that people are, everyone's speculating and everyone's thinking, oh, we're waiting till January, we're waiting till this. But we have seen that. We have seen that rates have not reflected what the Feds were saying that was going to happen. Or the mortgage rates would, go down based on what the Feds did.
Yeah.
And I think it didn't happen. And it actually went the opposite route. And people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so we're starting to see houses sit on the market. There's still buyers out there, still demand out there, but it's just, it's less, and buyers are willing to bide their time.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask this question and know that it's not for every single property.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that home values have not come down more based on just the amount of time? And I know that, say 30 to 40 days, 50 days, everybody's so used to houses just flying off the shelf. So it's not as if like a month or two is really a long time. You're selling a house. But it's so different than what we're used to. Are you surprised that we haven't seen home prices like as a percentage go down more? Because it seems like whenever I'm seeing stuff, at least in our like the Pacific Northwest, overall there's still appreciation, even though it's maybe minimal. But
it's really obviously specific. I don't want to overgeneralize, and but I also don't want to cop out on an answer. But it's very specific to the market, the neighborhood, the city. For example, Wilsonville is showing those higher median sold prices. But with that, I'm seeing that a lot of it's the higher end homes, it's the higher end market that isn't as affected. But that's a generically accurate statement anywhere. But people with money generally are okay with the rates. They're not happy about it, but they can afford it. What we have seen in certain markets with the 500,000 and below is you start seeing some drops in prices if they're not priced appropriately. I think it takes agents a little while to either convince clients or understand themselves that the market is not what it used to be. So the sooner that we can, as agents, price the home appropriately, it sells for what it's listed at. It's the homes that go for, either the seller or the agent or a combination of both think that, hey, this is still the old market, and they list it high because their buddy down the road listed it high and sold it within a week. Those are the ones that sit for longer and they end up price dropping. So it's a little shocking based on the rates, because anecdotally the buyers, there's just not as much activity on the buying side of things right now generally. Then you don't see the price drop go accordingly to it. So I don't know if that's buyers, and maybe you see this, I don't know if that's buyers finding programs that get them into things that allow them to afford that home. Are they utilizing different programs versus that traditional conventional, or do they get into these 2-1 buy downs and blah, blah, blah? I don't know. I would say it is a little bit of a shock to see, especially the stats I looked at this morning, that it's like, I think it was like, granted it's the median sold price, but it went up, I think 60 something thousand from last month, the median sold price for homes in Wilsonville. So that's huge.
See? It's just,
and it is a little shocking but again, Wilsonville's a, mid to higher level home sales, city. So you're going to have people with income that, can handle that sort of thing. So
yeah. And I'm seeing too, more people that are getting co-signers to help, or, another family member that's going to be living with it, like kind of combining two homes into one that allow them to qualify. So I think there is more creativity, out of necessity, maybe for some of these people to continue to keep buying. But
contingencies are big, like having to sell their home before the hand. It used to be that no, we're not even going to entertain that, but sellers are definitely more willing to entertain that contingency. So people are saying, hey, we'll give you full price, but we got to sell our home in 30, 40 days, So there's just a lot more flexibility on both ends of people working with each other, where it was heavily lopsided on the seller side. It's now kind of more balanced, and I find more sellers willing to work with buyers, and more buyers pitching different opportunities to sellers that will help them get in the home, help the sellers close, but also be willing to help the buyer as they navigate this stuff. But,
Yeah.
unfortunately, what we haven't seen with our company is first-time home buyers in a very long
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
It's just they're priced out. They can't, the
Yeah.
prices haven't reflected, like you said, the prices haven't gone down to help them get into a cheaper home. Prices have kind of stayed the same. Rates have
Mm-hmm.
continued to go up, and buyers are just sitting there waiting. Like, it's not that
Yeah.
they don't want to, it's they can't afford it. And so we haven't worked with first-time home buyers, unfortunately, for months and months now,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of unfortunate because
Yeah.
you hate to see that, those first-timers can't get into even a basic home,
Right.
not to say it
Yeah.
doesn't happen, but it's just much less. We're dealing with a lot less of those
Mm-hmm.
clients.
It's funny because I look periodically just at like the market, what's for sale, what's been sitting for a little while. And it's not something I do often, but often enough to just kind of like keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
And I find myself at times that because prices went up so quick, and you look at stuff from a few years ago and go, how is that place listed at that price?
Yeah.
And now I find myself looking at certain things, certain homes, and go, that actually feels like it's priced pretty well.
Yeah.
Because things have at least price wise stabilized, and it's not like, it's gone up another $100,000 or $70,000 on a $500,000 house. Now you're looking at it going, that's not a 570. That's more like a 450. And now you see it at 500, and you're like,
okay,
that actually doesn't seem all that
for
bad.
For sure.
It's funny how quickly you kind of get used to seeing home prices, because it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I guess it kind of was, but it doesn't feel like it was that long ago that you look and go, man, a $500,000 house, that gets you a nice place.
Yeah.
And now it's like, that's a good, like, solid starter home, maybe a bump up for someone, but
for sure,
it doesn't feel like that long ago that you looked at it and go, man, you are swimming in cash to buy a $500,000 house. Like, look at you.
I know. It's crazy. Yeah. We're seeing the prices, like, they're stabilizing. Like you said, I don't think there's a ton of dropping, because I think the demand is there. So it's always playing that game and having an agent that knows what they're doing, because it is playing that game of how long do we sit on market before price dropping? How do we price it right in the first place? But then how do we navigate this? Because it isn't a matter of your home is priced wrong. It's always playing that combination of, we just don't have many buyers. One, we're going into November, December, which is a slower market in general. We're having high rates, and buyers still want to be in. Like, it's not like, there are no buyers to find. It's just buyers are like, I need a better rate. I need a better.
Right.
And so it takes time for buyers to start realizing that, hey, if I want in a home, might have to get $100,000 less of a home to afford it at this rate.
Yeah.
Or just wait. So yeah, it's an interesting game. It's a hard game. It's more of an emotional roller coaster for buyers and sellers. And we as agents and lenders probably is like kind of helping them navigate this, because we see it all the time. So to us, it's kind of the ebb and flow that we deal with. And for buyers and sellers, it's like, what is going on? Like, why is my house sitting for 20 something days, 30 something days, And so what I found is, random anecdotal thing, but Portland, the condo market is like, homes are sitting condos are sitting forever.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's a combination of Portland politics and Portland, what's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't follow that too well, but man, the condos are sitting for a while in Portland, downtown Portland. Condos that are beautiful. I have one listed that's a beautiful condo that's just been sitting and just no activity, because I it's anyone's guess what the condo market is doing there. But yeah, just interesting side note there. But,
it's funny because you're probably talking about much higher end condos than what I'm used to seeing people get into. But I feel like the condos and the manufactured homes, and kind of like, not saying that condos are definitely specific for certain people that kind of want that living.
For sure.
It seems as though those have more activity when there's just less homes out there to choose from, especially in the price range. But then it's hard because
you're talking the lower end,
like the smaller, say a $350,000 condo, where somebody's price range is in that kind of low 300, maybe. That's the next step to go to. But then you look at those HOAs,
I know,
and it bumps them back up over above there. And I think condos could be. I know that the HOA is part of it, and there some of them, they have a lot to offer with the HOA, and it makes sense. And then others, it's like, it's just a tough pill to swallow when you already feel like you're hitting that top of your budget, and then you throw on an extra $500, and that's interesting.
That's a great point, because it is like, you do see buyers that can't they go from a house that they could have afforded 450, 500, rates go up. They're like, okay, well, let's look at maybe a condo at 350, and what happens, like you said, the HOA, it sounds cool on paper. And then you see the HOA is $700 a month, and they're like, whoa, okay, now I can't afford it again. So the Portland, what I just was looking at, I was doing some research into Portland high end, the 7s to above, 700s to above. It's like, they just sit, and it's not that they're not beautiful, not in a great location, not in, and it's just like, it's an interesting world. The condo market's a little unique, but especially in Portland, you see that price fluctuating. Like, people can buy. It's so weird. Not that anyone cares online right now, but like, it's so weird because the condo market can like shoot up month to month. Like, you can see, it's just such a dynamic thing, and you can buy a condo super cheap 1 year, get it, sell it the next year for super expensive, and then it goes back down to below what you bought it for. It's just not the same as what a traditional housing market does, at least in the Portland area. So but
that's interesting.
Anyways, just my little 2 cents on that.
Yeah,
little tidbit.
Condo talk, I like it.
But so anyways, man, well, thank you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
We won't bore anyone any longer. I think about 15 minutes is everyone's max time to listen to us.
Right. Hey, you got the hook in there though with the baby.
For sure. Let's see if people paid attention.
Maybe they hung around.
Did I say her name? Her name's Margot.
Margot, I like it.
Yeah, based on Despicable Me. So anyone that has kids that's watched Despicable Me, one of the girls in Despicable Me is named Margot. So
is that the older, or is
that's
that the
oldest one? That's the oldest one. Yeah, we wanted to go something unique because every Irish setter is called everything red, like ruby and ginger and whatever else it is. So we were like, let's try to find something, and the kids came up with Margot, which seems
I like it.
So
I like it. I think I had told you before, we had an Irish setter when I was growing up. And his name was O'Malley.
Did. O'Malley, I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
Cool. I know they are. We're excited to get out of just to be able to not pee in our house. That'd be great. Like, that's the step we need. That's the first step we need to get.
Just baby steps.
It's baby steps. But okay, man. Well, it's good talking to you. And
you too.
We'll chat next week, hopefully, if I'm available.
Yep. Bring Margot in. Give her a guest appearance.
I know. Maybe I should, actually. She'd be a psycho. And so,
she's just like chewing on the microphone.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Maybe I'll try that.
Maybe we can get some more viewers. Man. All right, dude.